Hi, and thank you for watching us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and consider other important aspects of working for yourself, being self-employed, running a small business. So today I'm going to talk about a little bit about the changes expected for filing accounts with Companies House for micro entities, and particularly a lot of questions about when you will be required to file your profit and loss. So before I get on to that, if I could please ask you to take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you should need to, as well as being able to find other information that we have available on a whole host of different topics, all aimed at supporting you in your self-employment. And if you navigate to the playlist section of our channel, you will find the topics loosely catalogued into topics to help you find what you're looking for. So back then to the changes that are going to be on the horizon for micro entities. So as you know, micro entities is a trading style for those self-employed who want to operate as a limited company. So very, very tiny companies defined by the turnover, the balance sheet, and the number of employees. So the people we would expect to be watching our videos trading as a limited company would be micro entities, because our information is specifically for very small companies or sole traders. So currently, as you know, as a micro entity, you're only required to file a balance sheet at Companies House, which just gives a snapshot of your company information, and you still need to file a little bit more information for HMRC. So last month in October, on the 26th of October, the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act received royal assent. So what that means is now that act is an act of parliament, that law is in place. However, nothing especially in the regards of what we're talking about will change immediately. Some of the changes that are required to Companies House do require them to update their systems and their software to be able to deal with it. So although it is now an act, it won't be immediately that the actual measures brought into place through the act take place. So there's a whole range of changes that are going to be introduced as part of the act. So the Registrar of Companies in the introduction to their newsletter that updated us on the changes, and this is what she had to say. The Act has introduced 4 new objectives for me as the Registrar of Companies for England and Wales. Alongside my colleagues, I'll promote these objectives while carrying out my duties. And they are: 1, to ensure that anyone who is required to deliver a document to the registrar does so, and that the requirements for proper delivery are complied with. Number 2, to ensure information contained in the register is accurate and that the register contains everything it ought to contain. Number 3, to ensure that records kept by the registrar do not create a false or misleading impression to the members of the public. And number 4, to prevent companies and others from carrying out unlawful activities or facilitating others to carry out unlawful activities. As an organisation, we'll base our decisions on these objectives. Our new and enhanced powers will give us the tools we need to act on these decisions. So that is just a little bit of a background to why the measures are, the stated reason, should I say, for the measures being brought into play. So there will be there's some changes relating to overseas companies and overseas people submitting but I'm not going to cover that because our audience, we're expecting to be covered by England and Wales legislation, and so I'm not going to worry about that, but just so you're aware that there are some things to look up if it does apply to you. There will be changes to identification and the verification of identity and information that's provided. Again, that will need some updates to the system, so that won't be immediate. And then the thing that has brought the most questions to us will be the changes to the options for filing. So you'll no longer be able to file abridged accounts. As I say, we would be expecting our audience to be microentities anyway, but there will be a requirement on the horizon for microentities to file their profit and loss with Companies House. So that, of course, does mean that it will be available on the public register. And this is said to be able to reduce fraud, to help both Companies House and HMRC assess whether people are within the thresholds of the levels that they're filing for, and also to help creditors and to stop people being able to mask the true picture of a company. So as I mentioned, we don't, as far as I'm aware, there's not been any timescale. Companies House have said that some of the measures could be expected in early 2024. But what I would suggest, if you are trading as a microentity, so you need to be aware that at some point on the horizon, you are going to be required to have your profit and loss filed, so it will be publicly available. And what I would suggest you do, obviously we will keep you updated, but if you sign up for the newsletters from Companies House, that will be an effective way to be kept up to date. And I will pop in the description the link to be able to do that, the link to the newsletter from Companies House, and the information on gov.uk on the Act as a whole. So if you're interested in the whole of that legislative change and what other measures may be coming in, etc., that you can read more about that if you wish to. So hopefully this helps. This helps you to understand that it is now an Act of Parliament, so it has received royal assent, so it's no longer passing through Parliament. So it is something that now is enshrined within the law. But there's work to do for Companies House until they can put all of the measures in place. And another thing that is hinted at is more digitalisation in the submission. Now, of course, we have focused a lot here on making tax digital, and we have a series of bite-sized demo videos showing you how to use some of the common software available. And so what I would suggest is, if you are using any of those softwares that we cover, all of those do allow you to submit to Companies House and HMRC if you're trading as a microentity from them. So there's not too much to panic about any forthcoming changes. So as I say, just keep your eyes peeled for updates, but just know that those changes are on the horizon. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.